through these fights. It's absolutely insane. If Ebby gets the late game, this is a dangerous matchup, and you already have such a good team fight basis. You have the Nami, you have the Hecarim, you have the Orianna that can already start setting up for the damage ready to come through. And I like DFM's comp a lot.
Yeah, I agree fully with Oak there. I think he has a really good understanding of the champion, and generally, especially when you get Vlad R5, it's very, very dangerous because to answer Vlad, you need specific answers. People that can put out sustained damage, people that can lock down the Vladimir. You need healing cut to come through, though that can come through items. And in this case, when Ebby picks this up, you've seen everything that CGA have here. Sustained damage, they kind of have it, but like we said, Gwen, isn't that strong sustained champion anymore. The Aphelios, yeah, sure. Hybrid's going to be able to put out sustained damage, but he's probably under threat of that Hecarim the entire time. There's no real threat to punish the Vladimir here, or you try and just bully Vladimir super hard early game. Yeah, you don't have that either because your jungler is an all-in jungler who can't deal with Sanguine Pool. Gwen isn't really an early game champion either. So it's a great place to pick up this Vladimir here. And for CGA, this changes how you're gonna kind of play the game, because I think on one hand you do need to try and suppress that Vladimir, but on the other hand for Kassin, you kind of don't want to go top. You want to go mid, you want to go bot, and I'd rather see Kassin just try and snowball this bot mid lane as quick as you can, ideally actually mid, and then you get Cocoon to go down and help out this bot side as well.
No, I do agree. I think a lot of pressure onto U2 would be pretty nice, especially if you get the Lucian behind. Then it really does put the pressure onto Ebby. We'll see if they can really carry from that one. I think the Hecarim is quite nice as well. I played a little bit of Hecarim here and there. I think obviously the farming is still the same. Very, very quick at the clearing. I love Orianna with Hecarim because Hecarim's biggest thing is that he can build damage, but it's still quite swishy. And Orianna giving the capability of the shield, plus him being a beautiful ball delivery system, I think works so well. So I actually really like this combination. Kassin, though, looking for an early gank onto mid lane.
I love this right here. And Kassin stepped out. Okay. Unfortunately, keep in mind when you burrowed that your vision is very narrow. So I think Kassin accidentally misclicked, stepped out a little bit, didn't realize that the minions were going to give away vision there. But I like the idea. That was what I called for. The problem is now that you've been revealed, Steel is now looking to try and fight in the 1v1. And this early on?
Yeah, you don't want this if you're Steel. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Kassin actually wins that, but Steel is going to get the backing. Will be able to walk away. Obviously, the threat of the shield coming through from Orianna would be enough, but I actually feel like CGA could have pushed the pedal there. I think they could have potentially won that one.
I think Kassin got caught off guard by how much damage he was taking. This isn't Conqueror Hecarim here. It's Phase Rush. And despite that, Steel was actually pumping out a lot of damage. I think it's that Ghost partially that came out with that passive, caught Kassin off guard. So I actually respect CGA for saying, let's not randomly coin flip in the beginning. We've got our power spikes. Let's try and make sure Kassin stays ahead for now, because he is supposed to be the big action point for this team. And if you're going to coin flip, you don't coin flip with Kassin.
It is the opposite day today. Like V3 winning games, CGA not coin flipping. Like, what's happening?
I mean, it's good play. I think it's V3 won through good play. CGA opted not to coin flip. Good play. Who knows, J-Real? It'll be a bigger upset, I think, CGA beating DFM than it was V3 picking up their second win.
Oh no, that would be mad. That would be insane. That would be a real game changer. I think it would also be a little bit scary in terms of prospects coming through to Worlds, because obviously it does pose the question of how good DFM are. I feel like right now, today, I feel like DFM, most people have them down to win. I feel like it's how clean they can do it is what really is what is expected from them. And obviously I like that they've switched up some champs as well. They're playing some stuff that isn't regularly played. And it does give me some confidence, because it gives them that wide variety of a champion pool, and it really just set them up for playoffs.
So, Jira, I see that you're in the camp that thinks DFM is going to represent the LJL for the third time straight.
Yeah, I do. I feel like they're just very good in best of fives, Like, Sengoku have been winning, but best of five DFM is a different animal.
I mean, Sengoku took DFM to the full 5 games back in spring in finals, and that was a Sengoku that hadn't fully clicked, so... But bold choice there, J-Real. I'm going to say for myself, I'm decided. So
yeah,
you could be right. I mean, DFM has a long track record here, and I agree. I like that they're playing slightly different to everybody else's meta here with this Orianna Hecarim. And I think it's good for playoffs as well, right? First of all, if it's something that they're not as practiced on, it's really good to get the practice of this sort of composition on stage. And even if they are, more practiced on it, hold up, hybrid.
Ooh, Hybrid almost caught out
Oh,
there.
he gets
A
out.
little bit of damage from Uspawn going down. And to be fair, Uspawn hasn't been able to gain a massive lead in this lane at all. They're even with farm with Hybrid. And obviously, Hybrid has been such a dominant force for CGA. It's definitely one of the best ADCs in the league right now. And this is pretty impressive that they're not giving up too much ground to this Lucian Nami combination.
Yeah, and this was my concern with the Lucian Nami here, Drew, that it's not been as strong as it used to be in the past, has not been able to be dominant in lane, and Soul and Secret have really struggled to leverage that. Utapon and Harp earlier in the split did use this combo to great effect, and it's actually one of the most banned combos against TFM. But right here against Hybrid of all people, yeah, it feels like you're risking it, and so far it hasn't panned out. And this has been without that pressure that we're calling for, from mid, from jungle roams. It's just been the straight 2v2.
Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe the priority goes down a bit. As I said, it's the most banned ADC in the league, and I'm also thinking that like Aphelios with the Lulu, it definitely does have quite a bit of poke in the early stage as well. Obviously, Lucian is quite short range, so maybe they're just able to really keep them on their toes and just force them away. But across the rest of the map, I feel like it's looking pretty good for DFM right now. Vlad and the Orianna up quite a bit of CS.
Harp now roaming to the mid lane as well here.
Ooh, shockwave there. Does land on the cocoon. Harp going to get a bit of damage down.
Oh.
There is enough. Yaharong with the flash. The orb just coming through to pick up that kill. And, well, one down already. DFM striking early.
Okay, and that roam from Harp probably not even necessary. Beautiful shockwave from Yaharong to really set up for that gank there. Really well played. And I guess, R3 Orianna, it works if you know what you're doing.
No, it does indeed. I think Orianna always has quite a bit of pressure if you can get those autos in, if you can get those trades. There's a lot of intricacies. Like I remember watching a video once that was saying like you kind of want to play the ball out, then you want to trade, then you get the all back in to slow them, so then they basically can't trade back. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the champion. I definitely think it's good. I just don't like seeing it R5. I think it's a bit of a waste. But into this game, are DFM a bit scared because it's the pause? Is there now PTSD of the pauses?
I'm getting PTSD from the pause. I was going to mention, I was like, I wonder what's causing the pause right now, right? Because the last time I was on stream, on Friday was that Sengoku DFM pause, where there was the Hex Flash bug, and ended up resetting the game when DFM were up 10-1. Now, granted, if we do get a remake here, I'm not saying I don't know what the pause is for, but even should a remake come through, it's not the end of the world. It's fairly early on yet. We literally just saw First Blood come through. Not a huge deal, but
you're not going to be as sad. Like it's not like you're mad ahead and you basically won the game. Like it's you just got First Blood. It's not crazy. So I do think it's not the same level. Hopefully we get back into game soon, though. I wonder what does happen. And pauses are a funny thing, in pro play. I feel like it's always like, I guess it's something I wouldn't expect because you think like, okay, pro play, they're going to have everything set up. But I guess like small things do happen and glitches do occur.
Yeah, like somebody spilled water or something. That seems to be the most common reason why we see pauses. But I agree with you. I mean, you're all in person. You're on site, right? Like, what pause is there needed here? And the other thing that I always wonder about when I see these pauses is how it affects like player mentals a lot of times. Like, especially when you've got momentum on your side here. Does it reset? Does it slow you down? I know like in CBLOL, Brazilian side, a lot of the players are very emotionally driven. So a pause really does actually tend to mess up teams. Whereas with the LJL, for the most part, I feel like most of the players here look quite cerebral. Like they don't seem particularly overwrought with emotion. So I feel like it shouldn't mess them up too much as long as it's not like a major, 1 hour long pause or something like that.
No, I think generally pauses are okay. Obviously, it depends on the time of the pause. I think that, I think most of my experience of pauses will actually come from things like Valorant. So obviously Valorant has like pauses that you can call for. And obviously that can really change up the tempo of the game. But I don't think you can talk to your coaches or your other players in pauses in League. So it's not the same effect. It's not going to have that same thing. But yeah, of course, if you are winning, like I think I remember hearing like maybe as I Will Dominate talk about it before. And it's kind of like when you go into the pause, like in the game, you had all these thoughts. You had like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is the timer that I'm on. This is where I'm looking to move. And everyone's kind of thinking that. And when you go into a pause, if it does take a little bit of time, sometimes you can lose some of those thoughts. You can be like, okay, wait, now I'm back in the game. Oh, wait, I forgot about this Drake or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it can definitely affect you if you're playing on a high tempo. But I do think that because of both these comps having good late game scaling, I don't think it's going to make a massive change in this game. I think if you're one team that is looking to make really high level proactive plays early on, maybe an early pause could throw you off a little bit more.
Yeah, if anything, I think DFM right now is savoring the moment after getting first blood there. Yaron getting that solo kill. It's like, pause. Perfect. Take a screenshot at that moment. That's my kill right there. I kicked the game off.
Post that clip on Twitter.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of tactical pauses, you mentioned, Valorant has tactical pauses here. I've always wondered, like, if they should be allowed in League. Can you imagine just like, oh, your team's tilting and you're just like, okay, tactical pause, guy. Call in the coach, have that locker room talk. I think that would definitely change up the game a lot, and maybe even for a good way. However, we are going to be back in the game, and that idea, that thought, Jerio, is going to have to be put on hold because Riot ain't doing it, first of all, and second of all, Steel's invading.
Yeah, Steel is invading. He's going very aggressive. It doesn't have... Well, no, he does have Ghost, actually, so he could potentially make a similar play he did before, but actually going to decide, you know what, it's not worth it. Going to back away. He's going to leave us in his jungle, and yeah, maybe we'll see the tactical pauses. I know that there are some rules in amateur leagues around pauses, that you can't pause mid-team fight and stuff, so it definitely be something to consider. But now Kassin is considering this Rift Herald. He does have the Talia there to support them, as now Ebby and Nap under this tower going to use the pull. It looks good, but it's not going to be enough. The Ignite didn't tick over, and Nap able to survive.
Oh my goodness, that was so incredibly close. And Evie played that so well, dropping Tyrant Sanguine Pool. Unfortunately, doesn't quite find the kill. And now Steel is going to be late to this Herald. Unfortunately, that invade we saw from Steel didn't actually catch Kassin out. Didn't see Kassin, didn't go for the play. Kassin, however, with this tremor sense, realized that Steel was in there and knew that, hey, Steel left. They're not going to expect me to take the Herald right now. And I've got a free go at this. So able to pick that up for free. And now the question for CGA is, what can you do with this Herald? Your lanes are starting to lose out a little bit here. You're looking for some sort of edge.
Yeah, proactive plays coming out from CGA. It's exactly what we want to see, and they're going to spot Steal out again. Nemo with the good roam to help out his jungler Kassin, going to be able to get that one, and once again, forcing Steel back, and it starts to pick up a bit of a lead in CS, because Steel trying to make these proactive plays in the jungle, but they're just not paying out for him.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a Rek'Sai in quite a while, and I feel like, maybe DFM, maybe Steel specifically has forgotten how the tremor sense works here. Your invades are getting spotted out, and if you're not getting pressure in your lanes to back that up, you can't afford to do that. You've always got to assume that, hey, I'm spotted doing this here, so if you can't brute force it, it's not a safe play to make.
Indeed. They are going to, however, make the play onto the Drake. Obviously, having the bot lane with priority does make that a lot easier. Although saying that, DFM now maybe stepping up a bit far. Polymorph is going to come through, but a beautiful bubble catches out both of the bot laners. Now comes Cocoon, and Utespawn just going to flash away. A lot committed from CGA.
Yeah, it got really, really close. And they're doing that because Hybrid has red-white right now. This is their strong power spike. If they can just catch either Harper or Utespawn, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. But this DFM bot lane has long been one of the best in the league, one of the most consistent and hardest to punish. Now, Herald being dropped here, and without the minions... Okay, I wasn't even sure if Shelly was going to get in range to charge it. Will be able to get that off, but that's it. Immediately taken down. And for CGA, I don't know if that's the best use of Baron.
It may be not the greatest. Obviously, getting gold onto Hybrid is a pretty good strat for CGA. Obviously, all in all, getting him leads is always positive, as they are both recalling on this ward, which this could go very south for CGA, as DFM are lurking like sharks in the water. And talk about water, tidal wave going to come through. We are going to see the big wild growth coming out, but there is the damage. Steel going to find the kill onto Utapon. Wasn't able to get the ulti from Rek'Sai. And it's now going to be in the mid lane. Oriana, Yoharon caught out, but not enough damage from Cocoon.
Yeah, I was actually more worried for Cocoon there for a second, because Shockwave is still up. Yoharon, I think, just didn't have enough mana for full combo. Now, the bot lane, though, that is confidence from DFM to go for that play, because both teams had full information, right? Everybody knew that, okay, we've got 3 people down here. So when we force this fight, it is going to be a 3v3. But I think this one really comes down to Harp's bubble. Harp is incredible here. So again, they knew everybody's there. Tidal wave comes out, but watch that bubble, the instant peel back for Kassin, to target Kassin, to save Utapon there, and Utapon barely gets out, but get out they do. And now Steel, he's still in this bot lane. I mean, we watched an entire replay. I thought he left.
Damn, Steel is hugging the bot lane. I don't dislike that though. I feel like there is some positive plays from that one. And yeah, as you said, the bubble coming through because Void Rush was available for Rek'Sai, and had that been channeled, there is no way Lucian lives. There's now Kassin in big trouble here. Going to be taken really low. Will fall down, and Harp is just absolutely counterplaying this Rek'Sai.
Yo, what did Kassin do to Harp, man? Like, this guy is just... That's the second time now he's absolutely countered Harp, and this is after Harp has gone back, picked up the Prowler's Claw, has the Rek'Sai ultimate. This is that power spike for Kassin, where normally he would be just nuking squishies here, but despite being the squishiest person on the map, Harp is somehow just countering this Rek'Sai incredibly well.
Nebby now with the support Steel looking to go for an aggressive play here. We're going to get the knockback onto Nap, and Nap doing quite a bit of damage though. The heals are going to come through from Heavy, and there is the pull, the damage, the finish from Steel. It's all too much for the top lane of Nap, and it's going to be another kill given over to DFM. Looking strong, 4-0, 13 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, at about the 7-minute mark, Ariel, the fact that DFM is already winning out the solo lanes pretty hard here. And for CGA, we already kind of said, okay, maybe you don't focus that top side, but Kassin needs to make something happen. Bot tidal wave lands as well, forces the flash.
Indeed,
what on earth?
We're going to see Hybrid just about able to survive while Growth coming through. Very, very clutch there. Woo! Okay, bot lane is going low. Utapon and Hybrid both living with a slither of health, but Hybrid may need to run because here comes Hecarim, and there's no getting away from the Horror Horse.
Okay, yeah, they are going to run away early enough that the Horror Horse won't even have a shot there. And I want to highlight that trade on the bot side. It's really close, Jeriel, but the supports are not the same. Nami has sustained, whereas Lulu is more about the shielding. So it's right up front. You need a shield right away. Whereas for Harp, yeah, you can eat all that damage, and as long as you don't die, I'll heal you back up. So we're seeing Hybrid and Nema have to back off, whereas Utapon and Harp, they get to stay in here, shove that extra wave in, and Kassin is not going to try and pick this one up. Kassin needs to prioritize that Rid and make sure that he doesn't fall behind when that Herald, when that Dragon spawns.
Needs tempo very much in DFMs. As you said, the Dragon spawning obviously 28 seconds away. They've already got the first one, looking for that second, trying to get that snowballing at Drake, and they've taken the first one relatively late. I would say, like, obviously 9 minutes, not the earliest it could have been, but better late than never. And so we are seeing CJ start to mobilize this Drake. I do wonder if they're going to contest, but Hybrid potentially going to be caught out here in big trouble, and it is going to be an easy take, and Harp taking the kill again.
You know what? Harp deserves it. Harp has been an absolute beast. Holy.
Ooh, Nemo going to be caught out here. A lot of damage.
Another one!
The bubble. It's just too good, man. I feel like everyone talks about the Lucian, but it's actually Harp's and Nami that is insane. And another kill! He just keeps taking them.
Harp hypercarry 3-0 and 3 right now. Highest KP, most kills on the team as well. And oh my goodness, Harp is trying to take MVP this game. Like you said, it's not about the Lucian in this new Nami lane. Right now, it's all about the Nami. And Jero, we said DFM, at gold difference at 15. When they're up at 15 here, this is a team that doesn't lose. And they're not just up at 15. They're up 4,500 gold here with a team fight composition that's about to spike.
4.5k. The Herald is being traded for this Drake. Kassin taking a bit of damage there. Yaharong is around. And so is Ebby. There is potential for a big play here. If he gets the damage out with the shockwave, it could be pretty nasty, but they're not going to go for it. They are just going to walk away. They just give a bit of pressure as the Drake is going to go down, and it's a Hextech Soul, which is a very scary prospect as we're now going to see a shockwave.
Oh,
another bubble lands. It's just too good, man.
Yo, this Jerry is when they need to pause. CJ need to pause right here, not for tactical pause, but they need to check if Harp is scripting, because every single bubble, man, he's hacking. There's no way you let all of that. So good here, and CGA, like how do you contest any objectives right now when you're behind, and when Harp is just an absolute beast? That tidal wave as well is going to be so massive for a lot of these team fights here.
No, a good Nami is actually just different. Like, Harp is built different on this thing. It is just serving up so many kills. The bubbles are just disgusting. And in the top side, we are just seeing Ebby absolutely dominate Nap. 50 CS up.
Now zoning him out from under turret range right now, just letting the minions get maximal damage and denying as much as possible. Like you said, up significant amounts of CS. The level difference is also massive because Vlad is one of those champions who scales incredibly well, not just with items, but with the levels, with the skill points as well. Now, Nema and Kasin might get caught out here. That's the first bubble we see miss.
A bubble finally missing. Tidal Wave also going to go slightly wide, but they do get them out safely. Ebby, they're going to be able to pick up the tower as well. And CGA trying to get some sort of return cocoon in that bot side is now hybrid, potentially in some trouble. Wildgrowth is going to stop the Hecarim from charging, and now we do get the polymorph as well. A decent chunk of damage going on to the Hecarim, but he's just a very tanky boy, and Aphelios hasn't scaled yet.
Ballsy play from Hybrid, but Hybrid doesn't even have to burn a single summoner. Is going to be fine. Only the Wild Growth really expended in the previous fight here. But still, CGA, it's like great that you're surviving, but surviving isn't going to help you win right now. You need to start making some proactive plays on your own. And Kasin, look at the top side. We said before, this is actually one of the rougher lanes to gank.
Ooh, Ebby potentially in trouble here. Kasin is joining the party, but a huge heal from the Evil Blade, but so much damage. The needlework and also the Void Rush, they're going to be able to do enough to pick up the kill. As now in mid lane, they are looking to pressure this tower. And look at the difference. We talked about, the shockwave after the bubble. Massive play there from Yaharong. It's not going to be enough, though, to take anyone down, but they may be able to keep pushing this tower, and they could potentially open the tier 2 as CGA are forcing down the tier 1 top.
Yeah, and DFM do stick around to shove this year. Hybrid's really low.
Ooh, Gale Force in. Uton almost getting into range, but it will not be. And now the minion being saved by the TP gives them some time onto this tower. They're able to really put some pressure down, and they should be able to take this tier 2 tidal wave. Going to be used onto Cocoon. Will knock him up, but no further chase needed from the Nami.
Okay, so we had just said CGA need to start making some proactive moves there. Good call by CGI. I know that they lost mid inner, which isn't a worthwhile trade for top outer here, but it's still a good sign because it's the first proactive move we've seen. And the fact that they lost mid inner just has more to do with how the laning phase has been running. But DFM is just so strong, and great call from them as well to not get baited out, to kind of go back. You got Hybrid Cocoon low, you need to continue pushing, and they did exactly that. And that's going to give them full control as well over the river. CJ have no turrets whatsoever, no vision, and Kasin, I think, might have gotten a little bit too big for his britches.
Yeah, it's not a likely win there. Vlad, obviously, with so much sustained damage, so much healing, if you don't have the direct burst to pick up the kill, it's not going to be. And, well, Harp hitting a bubble, name a more synergistic duo.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter who you're paired with, whether it's the Hecarim, the Lucian, or the Orianna. You just land that bubble and you're done. Fight's over. Really well played from them. They're going in, and top side in a turret now going down. Yaharong completely uncontested whatsoever. CGA, they seem to have lost not just control of the game, but they've lost control of their own tempo as well. Their base timings are a little bit awkward. They're being pulled across the map here, and now only remaining inner turret is in that bot lane. That is indefensible for CGA. If you step up for this, and Nap is stepping up for this, DFM just dive you.
Yeah, for sure. Utpon, Harp, and Ebby all lurking, just waiting for the Gwen to step a little bit too far forward. Nap, you have to back away. This tower is for sure gone, and we are seeing pings towards the Baron potentially coming out from CGA.
If they go for it, this is an absolute desperation Baron. You don't have enough damage to take it down here, and you need Nap or you need a Hybrid there. In fact, no, Hybrid probably isn't doing enough damage. You need Nap to take that Baron right now, and because you made that call to stick around there, Kasin, you're losing inhibitor turret. This is not a worthwhile trade.
It's it's definitely questionable. They are going to take one now. They're looking for the inhib as well, and Cocoon just not able to land these knockbacks. It's just going to be another tower taken. The inhib has been removed, and a very early one at that. 20 minutes. The dragon is on the table as well, and I think they're going to eat.
That's 3 turrets now and 1 inhibitor, Jariel, that CGA gifted DFM. Did everything short of wrapping it up in a pretty bow to hand over. And now Dragon as well, Soul Point going over to DFM. And it's kind of at this point, a lot of times where I'll be like, okay, game's kind of over, Jariel. I don't see a way back for CGA unless DFM make a major mistake. Even if you get Baron, even if you get the objective bounty, doesn't matter. And if you're waiting for DFM to start up Baron and try and fight them there, DFM are at their strongest pretty much. I'm just waiting for Yaharong's Archangel staff there to fully complete to the Sarah's Embrace. And at that point, even if it's a 3v5, as long as Steel, Yaharong, and Ebby are there, actually no, any three members of DFM could probably 3v5 at that point.
Yeah, 7.5k now up for DFM. It's it's starting to become a bit of a stack check. You know, it's definitely a bit problematic, and I feel like Ebby is playing a beautifully stat check champ. Kassin is waiting, but I just don't see a world where he can really do enough damage to pick up anyone. And now Cocoon in major trouble. Ebby going to be causing problems on the back line. We are going to see him and Pledge go down. Kassin now being knocked back in. Going to try and get away with a Void Rush, but he's just going to go back in. There is the onslaught of shadows. The fear comes through, and it is very clear that it is DFM all the way, looking to pick up the Baron Nash as well. And it just feels a bit like a formality now.
It does, J-Ro, 100%. Watching Steel in that fight there. Have you ever seen Sheepdog do their jobs, J-Ro, like herding sheep?
Ish, yes.
Okay, well, now you have, because Steel did exactly that. You know, just running around, making sure that Nap and Kassin couldn't get away. Every time they try to move away, it's just like, oh, we'll knock you back in, get back in line, you know, allowing Ebby and Yaharong just to clean up as well. DFM, well, this is why, you know, they're so fearsome. This is why most of us consider them the top team in the league here, and why I guess you, J-Ro, specifically think that they're also going to represent LJL once again here, because when they play well, when they're on form, they're so incredibly clean.
Oh, Hybrid needs to be careful. Oh, the culling. He gets the kill as well. Absolute plays, and Nemo going down as well. They've taken 3. They've just stormed into the base up. Finally missing another bubble. The Shockwave going to catch Cocoon, and they almost have the damage, but it will not be enough as they take the inhib. This is surely game here. 23 minutes. We might be getting the fastest game of the season.
What is the current record? I know it's B3, but I don't remember.
Current record is 23-38. They aren't going to be able to do it. Nap, though, going to be forced away. They're going to be pretty close, though. I think it'll be about a couple seconds later. The towers are going to fall down. The Nexus should be exploded, and they almost had the fastest game. Although holding that, they haven't finished just yet. They are trying to have a last stand. CJ are 5 members, but they're just not going in. You have to play for the game. They're not going to. They're going to lose the Nexus, and it is going to be DFM picking up a